Josh Dobbs looks like he's having fun playing football. Josh Dobbs, man, gotta give a lot of credit to him because he came in
Trade for him, Jets.
3 weeks before the season, and he comes in and he's playing real legit good football, the best football he's ever played in his career. Jonathan Gannon's, bro, with the limited amount of resources he has on defense, look at that personnel, and that man is getting pressure just consistently.
You know, a lot of credit also needs to go to their defensive coordinator. I forget his name, but he's been phenomenal. Let me double check because I want to give the man his proper credit.
Bro, Kaiser White been balling out.
Yes, I was gonna say that. Kaiser White's been hooping. He's been balling.
In terms of Josh Dobbs, the thing that's been most impressive to me, and we're going to talk about this more when we talk about the Packers and Jordan Love because it's kind of the same thing, but just forget about the stats and the numbers and all that, but just how he has command of the offense and his pocket presence has been exceptional. I mean, this guy Josh Dobbs, he never looks flustered. You know, he has wheels. We've clearly seen that in the first 3 weeks of the season.
55 rushing yards.
Yeah, he could get out of the pocket and do some work with his legs, but I mean, he has complete command of this offense. They never look flustered. Obviously, they're going to have series where they go 3 and out and it doesn't look good, but overall, I mean, they've been on both sides of the ball. They've just been super impressive. James Conner looks like one of the best 15 running backs in football.
Yes.
He's been incredible, impossible to tackle. Hollywood Brown looks like Hollywood Brown. So they've been super impressive.
Even Rondell Moore, Michael Wilson, they have these pieces that are not supposed to be that good, that are good because of how Josh Dobbs is playing. And you talk about his pocket presence and how he looks comfortable. Josh Dobbs looks like he's having fun playing football. Yeah. He looks like he enjoys being out there.
Bro, did you see the TikTok?
TikTok was
comedy.
Micah Parsons was on his podcast, and he was like, before the game, and he's like, I'm going to be throwing darts at Josh Dobbs all game. Mm-hmm. And Josh Dobbs was outside, and someone was throwing darts at him, and he was like...
After the game, he fucking posted a TikTok.
Isn't he like he's like an astronaut?
I don't know.
He might be.
I think he does stuff with NASA.
No.
I think Josh Dobbs is like...
He has a degree in like...
He's like super smart.
Astroscience. Yeah, something crazy. He's an intelligent...
I know he does stuff with NASA in the offseason, maybe.
He's a super smart guy. And you could tell. I mean, picking up an NFL playbook in just 2 to 3 weeks and then becoming a very competent starting quarterback in the NFL, like... That shows something.
Yeah.
He
walked into the right situation.
Josh Dobbs is a rocket scientist.
Yes, there it is.
Graduated from Tennessee with a degree in aerospace engineering.
He was a really good college quarterback too, might I add. But it's also another thing that this Cardinals offensive line felt like it dominated the line of scrimmage for a lot of this game too, which needs to be said against a Cowboys defensive line that everyone's been lauding as the best defensive line in football, as the best pass rushing team in football. And it just felt like they controlled the line of scrimmage the entirety of the game, in the run game, in the pass game. Dobbs sat there clean. James Conner, they were opening up running lanes that Trunks could have ran through at certain points.
And I will say the Cowboys D-line have, the first 2 weeks, had the luxury of playing the Giants and the Jets O-lines, which are... It looks like the worst 2 O-lines in the league.
Bro, the Cardinals have something building here.
Yeah.
The Cardinals have something building here. Now, I don't know if I'd want to bring back Kyler Murray, in my personal opinion.
That's what I've been saying.
I don't know if I want to bring him back. If I'm the Cardinals, I'd consider just sitting him. If this team were to end up with Caleb Williams, watch the fuck out.
Well, that's what I was going to say. How many wins realistically can you see the Arizona Cardinals getting by the end of the season? Because that really depends whether or not...
You know, if they had Kyler Murray, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. They just beat the Cowboys. If they could beat the Cowboys, they can probably beat a bunch of other teams.
So, are you keeping him? Are you trading him? Does it depend how many games you lose and what?
All depends.
What's your record when he's ready?
They've clearly made it obvious to us as fans, to themselves, to the whole NFL that they're going to go out there and they're going to compete and they're going to try and win games. So if Kyler Murray's ready to come back to football, I think he will come back to football and he will play for them. And you know, if they're bad enough to still end up with the number 1 pick, because that's still not out of the range of possibilities, then at that point, that's when you consider what you do going forward. But as of right now, I would like to assume that within the organization, they still believe Kyler's the guy that they're going to build around going forward. I mean, we got to remember, they did just pay him a bag
Yep.
Kyler got a bag.
Yes,
So-
they did. 40 million, upwards of 40 million a season.
But
It's not
I
like
do
there's
feel like there's teams out there that would go for that.
There is, but the only way they move on from Kyler is if they get the number 1 pick. And that's not saying anything bad about Kyler. I love Kyler Murray. He's easily a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, one of the most underrated players in the NFL, in my opinion. But the only reason you move on from him is if you get Caleb Williams, just because Caleb Williams is that generational. And even then, you have to consider and weigh your options.
Nah, I disagree with that. If you have the chance at Caleb,
that's
done.
your opinion. But the Cardinals within the organization, again, they just paid this man the bag. So even if they get the number 1 pick, it's not going to be right away. All right, we're trading Kyler. They're going to, really analyze and really think about it and then move forward. I agree. If I was the GM, I would move on from Kyler and draft Caleb Williams if I get number 1. But within the organization, what they've shown us through 3 weeks, it's hard to think that they don't believe Kyler Murray's the guy that they can win a Super Bowl with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going out there. They're trying to win. It's clear, like we just said, if Kyler Murray plays these 3 games, they're 3-0. So
I do feel like a lot of the time, I mean, this is just in the NFL in general, when there's new regimes that come in, they want their own quarterback to implement. So I think that might have a lot to do with, their decision going forward. Even if they want to win games, is it really smart to throw Kyler Murray out there for 4 games and risk, his trade value going down and him, coming off an ACL getting hurt again? Is that really worth it? Maybe if the Cardinals are that prideful in winning games, maybe they will. But I feel like Josh Dobbs is a perfect answer for what they're doing at this very moment.
It also just really does need to be said that there's something to not fully embracing a tank for a team. It's about setting culture. And this is what the Cardinals are doing right now. And that's why I actually, for once, feel like they're headed in the right direction, because the best way to lose is to stay competitive. If you're getting the brakes beat off you on a weekly basis, a la the Bears, that does nothing in terms of building culture. So the Cardinals have stayed competitive. They just beat a team that we looked at as the best team in the NFL. Like, that is the craziest part about this. So it's getting these types of wins. It's building this culture for you guys to believe that you can win, and then next season you come in, you improve, and now you have a legitimate shot at being an above 500 team. So I have all the respect in the world for Jonathan Gannon and for the way that they've built this culture in Arizona. And it's just, there's a future here. There is a future here for an organization that people were shitting on in the offseason. So, and especially with...
It's like the Utah Jazz of last year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Build that culture up,
It's huge. And then obviously the whole Caleb Williams thing. Caleb originally, his dad was talking about not even going into the draft and it was pretty much presumed that if the Cardinals got the first pick, they didn't want to go to the fucking Arizona Cardinals. I'm just saying, rethink your stance, because Caleb could change life here.